Hi, my name's Diane, and today I would like to show you how I made this chunky headband headscarf. It's perfect for beginners, as it's just all you need to know is a single crochet and chain stitch. Okay, let's get started. To make this headband, you're going to need any yarn of your choice. Any yarn weight, any colour. For this one, I've used this really pretty pink, sparkly, sort of sparkles in. So it was really pretty. And it's an Aran weight yarn. It's called Sunbeam Aran. And that's to do, the Aran is the thickness of the yarn. And if you look, when you're choosing your yarn, if you look on the back, it will give you the information that you need about washing instructions, and also it will tell you what size of knitting or crochet hook that you will need to use. So you've got your yarn, you'll need your crochet hook of 5mm. You will need some stitch markers. You can get really pretty ones like this, or you can get these that are fairly inexpensive. You'll need a pair of scissors and a darning needle to sew in the ends, and possibly for a project like this you will need a tape measure if you want to measure how wide you want your headband. Okay, so let's begin. So we'll start with a slip knot. So never start right at the end of your wool. You always want to leave a little tail before you make your slip knot. Maybe about 4 inches or so. And make a little loop. And then fold your loop over your yarn like that and pull it through. And that's it, that's a slip knot. It's as easy as that. Okay, now, first of all, we're going to make a chain. And to do that, put the yarn over the hook, and that's from the back over to the front. And then I like to just hold on to this tail and then use your hook to pull the yarn through that loop. And again, yarn over, hold on to the tail of your wool and pull it through. Now, when you're beginning, don't worry about where your fingers are, how you're holding your yarn. This comes naturally to everybody, and every crocheter tends to have their own way of holding their yarn. So make another chain, so that's 3, yarn over, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. For this headband I've done a beginning chain of 15, and if you lay that down like that, whatever yarn you're using, if you make as many chains as you think is the width that you would like your headband, then you can measure it, and 15 chains in an Aran weight yarn is approximately 4 inches, which is a nice wide chunky headband. So that's your beginning chain. Now for what we're going to do now is a single crochet. So for a single crochet, when you finished your first row of chains, you're going to add 1 more chain. This allows you to turn your work, and you're going to add a chain every time you come to the end of every single row. Now, just see if you can see this clearly. We are going to single crochet. We're going to do our second row. We're going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook. As you remember, this one here was your extra chain, and this one is the one we're going to do a single crochet in. So take your crochet hook and you push it through that first chain, grab the yarn with your hook, pull it through, and you've got 2 loops on your hook, and then yarn over, taking your yarn from the back over to the front, that's called a yarn over, and again holding on to this bottom piece of your work, pull through. I'll do this really slowly. Pull through the hook through both of those loops on your hook, and that is a single crochet. That's your first single crochet. I'll show you again. So if it's easier to hold it like this, then to start with, just hold it like this, and we're going to crochet in each and every stitch all the way along. So the next one goes into there, into that next stitch, then you get the wool and yarn it over from back to front, and I'll do this really slowly so you can see. Pull it through, 2 loops on the hook, then I'm going to yarn over again and using the little hook on the end, pull the wool through both those loops on your hook, and that's your next single crochet. Okay, so next stitched. Crochet hook into that next stitch, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and continue along. Each and every stitch till you get to the end of the row. So I'll just show you again really slowly. This is the stitch that you've just worked, and this is the next stitch. Crochet hook through, bring the yarn over the hook, pull the wool through, so you've got 2 loops on the hook, pull the yarn over the hook again and pull through both loops, and again crochet hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, got 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through both loops, and again so keep going all the way to the end of the row. Got 1 here, now this is actually, that's your slip knot. You don't want to crochet into your slip knot, you just crochet into this one here, which is your last chain, and at this point there's your first row of single crochets. So to count your stitches, turn your work on the side like this and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And every row should have 15 stitches. So now we're going to go on to row 2. And like I remember what I said at the beginning, the end of every single row we will chain 1. You'll hear this said a lot in crocheting. End of the row, chain 1. If it's single crochet, if it's a different stitch, it might be a different amount, but for this one we chain 1 and we turn our work. Turn it like you're turning the page of a book. There we go. And we are ready to start row 2. So for row 2, we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, the very first stitch. So if you look here, you can see, just show you your first stitch. This is your turning chain. This is the one that helps you to turn the work around, and this is your first stitch. And we're going to crochet, we're going to put the hook through these two here. So if I turn it like that, you can see that's where we're going to put the hook. So take your time, and that's the view from the side, and that's the view from the top of your work. From the side, put your hook through both legs of that stitch. A yarn over as normal and pull up a loop. So you've got 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through both. Oops, the wool split there. Don't worry. Happens all the time. So chain 1 and turn the work. Put your crochet hook through both legs of that stitch, bring over the wool, pull up a loop, bring the yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook. And same again in the next stitch, and if you look at the top, you can see your next stitch there. Push your crochet hook through, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And this is how you're going to carry on all the way along. Till you get to the end of the row. Push the crochet hook in, grab the yarn, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through. Don't worry if you need to use your fingers to get the hook through, that's fine. to the end of the row, and here is your last stitch. Sometimes the last stitch is a little bit difficult to see, but just take your time. Put the hook in there, making sure you get it through both. Just move that yarn out of the way. Both legs of that stitch. And there is your second row. So now you've come to the end of your row. Again, we chain one stitch and we're starting on our next row. So as before, we're going to start in that very first stitch there. This is the chain one stitch, this is your first stitch. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And I'm just going to carry on along. You can follow along with me. That's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. And 15. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now I find that if you count your stitches as you're going along, your edges are going to stay straight. Single crochet into that first stitch. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15, chain 1 and turn your work. Now continue like this, single crochet in each stitch all the way along, and your work will begin to grow. And I will tell you how long you need to do your headband is basically the width of the circumference around your head. Now if I get the original headband that I made, so obviously this is folded in half. And this measures, in total it will be, if you include the folded over pieces, it'll be 21 inches. It's usually the average size of adult female, but if you're unsure, just measure around your head the length that you want your headband to be. You keep on crocheting all this row after row after row after row after row, and I'll meet you back here when you've made as many rows as you need your headband to be, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so when you've finished crocheting row after row, this is what your work should look like, and you've crocheted to the length that you want your headband to be, and this one is approximately 21 inches, which is the length that I want my headband to be. So of course you can crochet your headband to be any length you want it to be. So now I'm on my very last row. Just finish up this row. Last stitch there, and there you have your headband. So now we're going to join them together. So we fold in half, making sure it's lined up nice and straight each stitch. Now we're going to do what's called a slip stitch. So take your hook and push it through into the corner of the other side of your work. Bring the yarn over the hook, and all you do is pull the hook through both loops, and that's a slip stitch. Then put the hook in here, in there, and again through the next stitch. Grab your yarn and pull through, and then pull through the loop. And again, through one side, through the next side, grab the yarn and pull it through both parts of the headband, and then, oops, then the loop. And this, we're effectively sewing the two sides together. Continue along. Trying to keep it even as you're going along. I'll just show you what that's actually doing. It's creating a seam. So continue to do that all the way to the end of this row. So just coming up to the last few stitches. And what I like to do, just to finish off, so it's nice and tidy, in that corner, just pop another slip stitch, making sure you've got the corner sides like that. And then to finish off, just do a little single crochet, yarn over, pull through, do that again, yarn over and pull through, grab your scissors. And then put back into the loop and just pull it through and tighten it up like that. And if you like, you can tie a little knot with that one, with the beginning tail from the very beginning of your crochet project. Okay, so if you turn that, just turn that inside out. I'm going to sew these ends in a second. There is your seam, which usually sits just on the back. Okay, so now what we want to do before we go any further is sew in our loose ends. So turn the headband back to the wrong way round and with your darning needle, this blunt needle with a nice large eye, we're just using this just weave in and out 1 or 2 times. And then what I like to do is just pull through so there's a little loop, pop the needle through that loop and pull tight, and then you can just trim off your yarn and same with any other pieces that need sewing in. Just weave them, weave in and out. A couple of times. And then create a little loop. Pop the needle through the loop and tighten it up. Trim off your yarn. And there we have the main part of your headband. You could in fact leave it like this if you wanted to, but what I'm going to show you next is how to make this part here, which is basically just another strip of single crochets wrapped around this part here, and we'll do that next. So again, we'll start by making a slip knot, which is a loop, fold it over to your yarn is in the middle, grab that and the two ends and pull. Make a chain of 8 plus 1. It's 8 and 1, and we will single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So that's 1, 2, we'll single crochet into there, pull up a loop, single crochet, and all the way along each and every stitch. Just like before, except there's slightly less chains. You'll find the first row of any crochet project is always a little bit fiddly because there's not much work to hold on to, but just take your time. And you'll soon get the hang of it. And chain 1, turn your work. Now, from now on, every row is exactly the same. Is we single crochet into the first stitch. We don't count the turning chain, which is this one here. We crochet into this one. Making sure you get through both legs of that stitch in that last stitch. It's the last stitch there. Chain 1, turn your work, and carry on. So you're going to carry on doing rows of single crochet. So the length that you want to make your little band is, let's just measure around here. So I usually pinch that together, just so it's nice and tidy around there, and just measure round. So you could make it tight, you could make it loose. I've made this one, the one I've made is slightly looser. I would say about 6 inches, 6 inches long. So you keep on crocheting row after row after row. Till you get till it is 6 inches long, and I'll meet you back there and I'll show you how to finish. Okay, so once you've finished your little piece that's going to go through the headband, we've come to the end of our last row, and as we're not doing any more rows, we don't do a chain one, we just leave it just like this. So take the main body of our headband, and I just like to squeeze those together in a little ripple like that. Feed your piece of crochet you want to keep your stitch on this corner. Fold the two ends together. When you're ready to join them, just slip stitch. We're going to slip stitch the two ends together now while it's around your headband. So again, crochet into that corner of first one, pull through just to get it attached. And then begin to slip stitch in through both sides of your edging. Through there and then through there. Pull the yarn, pull through both sides and pull through the loop. Now slip stitching all the way across. And don't forget the corner. Okay. So we will do the very last stitch, yarn over once, pull your loop through, then take your scissors, leave a little bit of a tail so you can sew in the ends, and just pull that through, tighten it up. And there's the ends that you need to just sew in. Drizzle that round. Then you need to sew in your ends. And there you go, you've made a headband. So thank you for watching this video. This is indeed my first one. If you want to leave the comments section if you found this helpful at all, that would be great. And thank you for watching. See you next time.